What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Personalities Beyond Business. I am your host, Nikki J.
And I'm your host, Jazzy J.
And today, we are asking that you guys really sit back, listen, take off your shoes, take off your whatever, just relax, okay? This is all about relaxation because we're going to touch in on some real deep issues today surrounding mental health. We do have a special guest today, Miss Sharita Childress, who is a mental health therapist. Go ahead, Miss Sharita. Introduce yourself, girl.
Hi, ladies. Personalities Beyond Business. So listen, I'm so excited to be on your podcast show. Thank you for having me. I am Sharita Childress. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Nevada. I am also I am a therapist, a mental health therapist, and I work in the clinical capacity with all different types of people from all diverse backgrounds. And I am really excited to join you today. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Let me apologize because I think I pronounced your name wrong again the first time. So it's Childress, right? Just making sure.
Childress, yeah. You got it. You're good. Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
So as I mentioned, guys, we're going to talk about mental health today. We're going to talk about mental health in 2020. It's been a really big issue considering, the stresses and the things that we do have going on today. So we're going to go ahead and get this party started, okay, with mental health in 2020. Miss Sharita, explain to us what's popping off in 2020 with mental health, because it's a lot.
First of all, I want to know about you and what you do. How are you in business?
Okay, business-wise, I'm definitely a businesswoman. I love what I do. I have a passion for it. Personality-wise, I am very family-oriented. I'm the oldest of 8 siblings, so I'm the older sibling that's always playing jokes on my siblings. I like to make them smile and bring them joy. I love spending time with my children. I have 3, a 25-year-old daughter, a 17-year-old daughter, soon to be 18 next month, and a 15-year-old son. I raised 6 kids, so, I'm definitely, like I said, all about family. I'm outgoing, fun-loving, high energy, and I just love to have fun. I try to keep around positive vibes and, around just good-hearted, good-natured people, because that's who I am. I want to see the best for everybody, so that's it.
That's what makes you so unique, and which is why we connected. I feel like we connected more on a soul level back when we first met.
That's awesome, too. She said, I play jokes. I heard that.
She does. And the oldest of 8. I would have never thought.
Me either. I would have never thought either. I'm not going to lie. I would have never thought that. I'd have been like, oh, she's so serious about her business. Every time she's around, she's so professional, even the way she talks. But that's good to know. So it's on now. Okay?
Yes, I'm the goofy one of the bunch. I'm literally the female version of Martin in my family. That's how crazy I can get, but people would never know that.
No, she is.
People would never know that if they didn't know me, the real me, because all they see is the professional side, and I can be very professional. I'm very passionate about my business, but when I let down my hair, I literally let down. Jane will tell you she's seen some times where I just be acting crazy at her.
How about that? Because I did not meet you in a very professional setting. It was more, how we met.
Have a different dynamic.
When I did have to be in a professional setting, I was like, this is so uncomfortable. I know you gave me a different perspective on it. And I was like, okay. Then I did feel more comfortable. But yeah, Sharita is who she is in business. Like just how we are in business.
Right.
When she's in her business mode, it's snap, boom, this is her. I'm like, I respect that. Like seriously, I love that.
And that's good.
Thank you.
That's good for your brand. That's good for your business as well, because sometimes I think people forget that we are human. We do have a personality beyond what we do on a regular basis, which is we spend 9 to 10 hours in a day in business mode. You know what I mean? So it's good to understand that it's okay to have a different personality, like when you're home, like or around your family, like to kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Like it's not that deep. You know what I mean? That's actually good for your mental health too, when you really think about it, right?
And you stress self-care a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do. I really do. She's right. So, yeah, you're definitely right. Being able to be comfortable in your settings around your family and friends is very helpful for your mental health. You can't be on, level 10 all the time, because it contributes to factors such as like hypertension, high blood pressure, all those things that, exacerbate our stress levels and then in turn causes, anxiety and depression. It can trigger those. So definitely we need to be in a comfort zone and be able to have our self-care, as much as possible.
So let me ask you this, since we're on like basically, because that's part of our topic today, tips for controlling stress and depression and things like that. I know we mentioned, like I said, laughter, being able to let your hair down and be yourself around, your family, being a comfortable environment. Like, how does that work in business? Because when you're a business person and you're in work mode, I mean, what tips do you have to kind of say, hey, you know what? Let me relax. Let me, what kind of tips could you give us?
Well, I always tell people that obviously when we're in our professional setting, we have to maintain our professional composure. But I always tell people, if you can, make sure you take your lunch breaks. I mean, pre-COVID, we had spaces where, everything is about getting out that productivity, making the money, this grind culture, which is great. I get it. I love the ambitious nature of, the millennials with the grind and stuff like that. It definitely sparks and inspires me, to get to light my fire. But the thing is that, the no days off idea, it's not all that healthy. And so you need to be able to take some days off. Don't work yourself to the point where you're working yourself sick.
Right. Which is what I've actually started doing. Like, I literally take a day off.
Yeah, you have to, because a person working themselves to death, that's real. Like, I have been called out to sites where somebody just literally worked like, 2 shifts while they were sick, and then they passed out, and then they never, they died, right? Like right there at the job. So it's not worth it. You got to take breaks. Yeah, you got to take breaks. You have to take care of yourself. Self-care is imperative. We treat our cars sometimes better than ourselves. We go maintenance our cars. We get oil changes. We don't just drive it till the wheels fall off. So same thing with us in our mental health and our wellness overall. We have to stop. Can't just keep driving constantly without taking care of ourselves. We have to take a break, implement our self-care. And then, like when you're at work, make sure you take those breaks. There's no badge of honor given to you because you work all the way through the entire day and then take your lunch break. Eat, drink water, stay hydrated, all those things. If you're in a workspace where you can walk and they have a garden or something like that, get out, get some fresh air, take a break from the screen. And same thing in this virtual world, get up and take a break from the screen, get some fresh air, look at the sky, something. But breaks are necessary. Self-care is necessary.
Right.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that one. And even when you're sitting at your desk, I even found a video on like doing desk yoga. And I was like, who knew that was a thing? But just to think that sometimes, especially when you're working from home, wherever you are, and you're sitting at that desk and you're tense and you're on a call or whatever is going on in your work environment, you don't even realize by the time you look up, your shoulders are up here. So I found a video on how to do like desk yoga and how to like work out that tension and stress, because even for myself, I've built up so much tension. I've got a pinch or something going on the right side of my neck. And that just shows that the physical, like my thoughts have manifested such negatively that it's starting to like show up in my body.
Right.
That is so true. Yeah, I did a deep breathing exercise for one of my Motivational Monday videos. And Jane, you're absolutely right. One of the things I said is that we tend to hold tension in our neck and shoulder region. So as I was doing the deep breath examples, I told people, breathe in through your nose slowly and blow out slowly as if you're blowing out a candle, but simultaneously drop your shoulders because we hold tension in that. And if you do it, you're going to feel such a sense of release because sometimes you don't even know it's there. And so you're right, desk yoga and deep breathing and breath work with releasing that tension is essential to our well-being and us being able to function throughout our day. So that's good. Yeah, that you were learning that. Very good.
Yeah,
absolutely. So with that being said, let's just touch on the mental health then in 2020, because as you guys know, the baby, for example, his older brother killed himself recently due to mental health issues. You know what I mean? And I know Jane, right? You went and you did a little bit more research. Could you give us a little bit more insight on what you did learn about it? And then I'll come back.
Well, it's just to think that you're that close to somebody, especially your sibling, and to think that maybe you may not know everything that there is to know about what's going on in their life, but maybe think that, oh, they're doing okay, you know, but to not think that it's that serious or that deep, to be like, dang, if I had just checked on my brother a little bit more. And so in this video, it really touched me because he was just like, check on your people, man. Check on your people. It doesn't matter how you think they're doing. It doesn't matter how they appear to be on social media. If you know that in your personal world, they are not the same person that their patterns aren't the same, check on them.
Right, exactly.
Because the mentally strong people go through things too, and you never know when their breaking point, you never know what their breaking point is. And I have personal testament to going through so much that if I didn't have the right support system at the time, who knows where I would be. And to know that it could have been prevented.
Then that brings me to another point. I think when you say prevented, like, I think sometimes you can show somebody that you love them and care about them and give them everything in the world, including attention, and they still manage to, you get what I'm saying, react the same way. Does that make sense? Like, they still manage to do something like hurt themselves. So sometimes I wonder, like, if it's something deeper than what I'm giving you. You know what I mean? Because one minute you're cool, the next minute you're not. One minute you saying I don't love you, but I'm literally showing you that I love you. You get what I'm saying? And then you still turn around and, you know, it's unfortunate and our condolences do go out to the baby. But you turn around and you still kill yourself. You get what I'm saying? Or try to attempt to or hurt yourself. And it's kind of like, what more do I do? You know? So like, Sharita, what more do you do for a person like that when you're showing them that you care? You're giving them the attention. You're checking on them. You're doing everything in your power to show them that I'm here for you, that I love you, that I don't want you to go anywhere. Like, what more do you do outside of that?
I think I'm so glad you touched on this because there's different levels to this. I mean, honestly, you have situations where people are just in deep depression. You have places where people are in despair and they have what we call suicidal ideations, where they're just thoughts, but they were never attempted. They just wonder, like, what would happen if I wasn't here? Would people care? And then you have people that are in, serious, deep places of despair that they can't pull themselves out of. And as much as we support them, they're determined to make an attempt, and or most of the time is successful because they just feel like they're completely hopeless. That's when you get to the point of hopelessness. And so when you're dealing with a family member in that space, I would just say be consistent on your support. Don't give up on them. But unfortunately, with all due respect, it is always sad when we lose our loved ones. But sometimes we can take measures into our hands and give preventative interventions. And then sometimes, the person is in such a deep despair of hopelessness and place of, despair that we miss it. We can't find the signs, or they make sure of it that, they're going to be successful in their attempt to leave this earth. And in those spaces, just to elaborate on that, like I've been in situations. Unfortunately, I had, a client where, two clients I've had that experience. And then one was a really close friend. And I remember hindsight thinking, wow, I missed the signs. But then I started kind of thinking about some of the stuff they were telling me about. And they were in a hopeless space, but even still, I didn't think that they would kill themselves, And so sometimes we miss them. Sometimes we just don't know. I mean, they say that a lot of times that when a person is at peace, after they've been in severe turmoil, those are times where, they might be the most suicidal because, so there are signs you can, see, sometimes it's very abrupt and sudden. Other times it's, you can see the kind of the preparation of them, like maybe possibly giving away their belongings or, being more isolated, things like that, drinking or using more substances, all those kind of different indicators. So sometimes we can see it. Other times we just do. We miss the signs. We don't see it. We don't know,
Mm-hmm.
Right. Got you. So Jane, you were saying the baby you were saying something along the lines of what Sharita was saying, and then